14 and 10.
Mm.
Triple double after triple double.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a little. That's what it is, man. Don't you do what you need to do? That's all that matters. Just to win. That's all. They play winning basketball, man. Different,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I want to know how the ratings going to be in these games here.
You want to know what, boss man?
The ratings, how the ratings for the game or
Oh,
for this series. Is it going to be a high rating? You know, I don't see Miami winning but one game, and that's probably at Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
I see you smartened up, Melvin.
Mm-mm.
hold on. You just said this nigga had 13 points and it was a decent game? Where he going? Boss man?
Say that again.
I said, Fab just said Jimmy Butler had 13 points, right? And said that was a decent game.
I ain't gonna say it's a decent game. Yeah.
There you go. Fab,
Uh-huh.
you said Jimmy Butler had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. It was a decent game?
No, I mean, I'm saying that but to shoot 6 or 14, I'm saying no, I didn't. I said for him to have a bad game like that and Caleb Martin, there's no way you can win. So if Caleb steps up and Jimmy steps up,
He shot 42%. He played 40 minutes. He had one
crazy,
foul.
38
Horrible.
minutes.
He's scared. You play 40 minutes, you have one foul. I mean, you don't want to be aggressive. You're scared. There's a reason why he's not a superstar, bro. And if it was a superstar, everybody else would be saying what I'm saying. 13 points from a superstar?
But we can't. That's what I'm
Finals game
saying.
one?
How many? So we can. But Jason Tatum is a superstar.
Is Jokic a superstar?
That's a definite.
Right. Look what he came to do. 13.
Right.
No superstar can have 13 points in the finals and niggas not be going crazy right now.
But when Joker doesn't win, the last 2 years, all we've been hearing is Jamal Murray's injured. This guy's injured. They haven't been healthy. This, that, and the third.
True.
So Jimmy Butler, you gotta cut him some slack. For him to
No,
be,
13 points, you play 38 minutes. If you a superstar, you can't get no slack for that.
no way. You beat the number one, number 2 team.
That's over. That's the past. This is a whole new thing.
No
bro.
way.
You've been here before. You know how you got to perform. He's had 40 points in the finals before.
Yeah, but we gonna label him one game now. Does he have one game that's 13 points? I mean, it's a blowout.
And look. Bobo was just asking if Jokic is if he win the chip, is he top 5 centers. I feel like that's a part of the reason why they didn't give him MVP. If we got MVP this year, 3 times MVP in a row, and won the chip, it would be no argument. Now it's a debate.
But your argument is that Jimmy Butler's not a superstar. That's what you want to throw in there, right?
No. I'm just saying, like, it's like he got 13 points and nobody's going crazy. Steph Curry scored 13 points in the finals, niggas would be going crazy. Braun scored 13 points in the finals, niggas would be going crazy. Any other superstar scored 13 points in the finals, niggas would be going crazy. He's allowed to have innings.
Right, but if he scored 50 points and lose by 20, the 50 points doesn't mean nothing anyway. Still ain't do anything. So I'm going
13 is crazy. 13 is crazy for a superstar. Any superstar.
Okay.
Nah, that's not right. I don't think that's right.
What's not right?
Because who is Jimmy Butler's second best player?
Bam just had 26 and 13. Fuck you talking about?
He's okay. He's okay. We gotta stop with this.
20 and 10 on the season.
No, he did not average 10 rebounds. You keep saying that he averaged 9.6.
Yes, he did. Go look it up. You got the computer in front of you. Look it up.
9.6.
That's 10.
I gotta look it up. It's not 10.
Round up.
He struggles. Julius Randle averaged 10 rebounds. That's clear 10. That's big time because Julius Randle had 9 in the beginning of the year and he stepped it up. Don't do that to me, Melvin. We're going wild card green. And I think we can't. Nah, man, Jimmy, you can't. This is not just one season, bro.
You can't lower the
Two
bar
finals
for a
appearances.
superstar.
2 finals appearances. Was it 3 or 4 conference
Yeah,
finals
all right.
appearances?
If KD was to score 13 points in the finals game, what would happen?
He's still a superstar.
No, but niggas would be going crazy. Like, how you score 13? That niggas would be bashing
because-
him. Niggas would be
right,
going
because-
crazy.
Right. Okay. So now you're hating. Jimmy Butler's playing with house money. You can't be a hater about it. KD decided that he's some sort
That's why he's
of
not a superstar.
astronaut.
The expectation for him to do this is regular. This shouldn't be regular. Motherfucker, you got 13. No, for a superstar, no.
The
What you think, Tyrone?
expectations.
What happened?
I said, what you think?
What? Ever got? If you finish with what? 13 points.
If you're a
Game?
superstar, what other superstar could score 13 points in the finals and niggas would not be going crazy?
It all depends on how bad. To me, it all depends on the shooting percentage.
He shot 40%, 42%. He was 6 for 14, and he played 40 minutes.
Yeah.
No other superstar is this okay for it.
Nobody would have got because you're right. Because if that was LeBron, he'll be getting slammed.
Right. Any other superstar.
LeBron is no longer
KD,
LeBron.
Any other
LeBron-
superstar. Don't have to be Braun. Any superstar. Name.
I could pick up to get your turn. Uno.
Wow.
what KD would definitely get roasted for scoring 13 points.
Oh no. But LeBron stopped playing with house money in kindergarten, bro. We knew he was gonna be great from 12. That's a different story. Jimmy Butler's whole story is that I didn't know I was gonna even play in basketball. It's just different. Joker didn't have the same expectations as anybody. I was putting pressure on him because I felt like, okay, 2-time MVP.
Wait, you didn't pick up 2.
Why would I pick up 2? I'm not supposed to. No. You added something on top of that.
No, that was before. And you
My
didn't have
8-year-old son thinks he can just dupe me in Uno. So then he just mixed up rules. I drop a 2, and I put a stop on top of it.
Did you ever
Were you at a spa or something?
No, I'm in
Did I?
family house.
Okay.
It's okay. You want to say hi to my live?
Hi.
We're graduating, so we're
Hello.
congrats to Kaylee.
Can I do this?
Getting shout outs from DJs like Alex Sensation.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back.
Good night. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Don't worry about it. What is this? I'm not picking up 2.
It should have before because I got the pick up.
Look, you put this on top. You play the last card. You should have put the first 2
Hey,
on top.
Mel.
But
No,
No,
Hey, Mel.
you.
You know, but when you got these players playing the way they got to do, they got to play hard, man. And when you're playing catch-up basketball, it's hard, man. You got to get your team involved. So, we know that from our past experience watching Butler play, he likes to get the team involved first, and then he likes to try to close it out by scoring.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this time it didn't work.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he lost something along the way. It just didn't work this time. That's all.
Yeah.
But he's still a star, Mel. You can't diminish his talent and his skill set because he had a bad game.
Yeah.
Harden doesn't even show up in the playoffs, but everybody he always show up, and he be having way better teams than, from what we see, better teams than Butler had.
That's a fact.
So just give it some time. I mean, and I'm with you, Mel. If he does bad, we got, as everyone else, we got to get on his back too, like everybody else. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he avoids all that, boss man, for whatever. Like, it's a special case. I've never seen this before, where someone just has this superstar level playoff run every year. It seems like I still have yet to see that.
Right.
We've seen Jordan go from superstar to even better superstar, look crazier in the playoffs, but Jimmy Butler is just that's his legacy. But he never came in. He's been the underdog until now, and he's still the underdog.
Yes.
So I don't think it's. I think people are trying to again. That's the Stanism. People love their favorite players, and they want to know, hey, how come you don't hate on your player the way people hate on my players? Like, because you're a sicko, and so are these other people. Like,
right.
It's like a lot of the criticism for LeBron or even KD, I don't think is right either. But you still have to deal with that much weight of criticism at times because you created that much expectation with that much talent and skill. Because it wasn't just it was way past talent at a certain point with KD and LeBron. As soon as they came to the league, we saw something. With Jimmy Butler, we didn't see this until the last 2-3 years.
Right.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
But Mel like to get on people though. When you don't do well, Mel want to just go rip a person's neck off.
Not usually he has his alias at this time when the sun goes down. He's Melvin or Meldrick. I might call him Meldrick. Very very smooth around this time, even all ball sensitive. Oh, live from Brazil, Bernardo.
Where's Dom drop at tonight?
I don't know. He hasn't hit me up either.
Wait a second. Can you listen to me?
We can hear you, Bernardo.
Oh, what up, Star?
Yeah, he dropped out. Can't hear himself.
Who, Bernardo?
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Yo, but that was a dope topic that you and Flea spoke on. Jeff Green and Tim Thomas. That was fair comparison. Definitely 100% fair comparison.
But what was the dope topic? I'm sorry, Turbo.
I said that was definitely a fair comparison. Jeff Green and Tim Thomas. That was definitely a dope comparison.
It came out the top of my head.
Now that was
why we were talking about it. It was right before we even were going to record about Bob Myers. Oh, what do you think about the Bob Myers thing, Turbo?
Not surprised.
Well, I mean,
because he was in the last year of his deal anyway, so I'm not surprised. He's been there for a decade. He want to move on. Hey, ain't knocking it. The man had success, and he probably wants to move on to another chapter.
It's hard. I mean, stuff like that. I'm with Afay, but I'm saying to myself, like, you have a successful company. I mean, a successful team you're with. They've been doing good for the last 12 years, whatever it may be. So what is it? You want to go start all over again? It's just weird to me. Like, also they the guy from the Knicks, he stepped down.
Scott Perry?
Yeah.
Yep, he stepped down. So
yeah, but wasn't he was on his last year of a contract, and you got to remember he was part of the old regime.
Uno.
And
Are we talking about Bob Myers?
Red.
Huh?
Right.
Uno out.
What?
Yeah, he was there with the old
Hey.
regime. I think they just kept them to kind of like
Do it.
to the
I knew it.
Leon Rose,
Just knew it.
because he's been an executive as on that level. Leon has not. So I think they just kept him a while to kind of like show him the ropes.
My turn.
Mhm.
I didn't. I mean, I never understood the Scott Perry relationship with Dolan. Like they got some, that just seems like they know each other. They got something going on. They got business outside of the Knicks.
Mm.
And would you get, because I can't see Bob Myers coming to the Knicks under
Mm-mm.
Leon Rose.
People around the Warriors say that Bob wants to go into show business or something. Like he doesn't want to. Like he's a guy. He didn't come from basketball. He's a businessman or whatever. And people are not sure he's going to go to any other team for the foreseeable future. Like people say he wants to be a pundit or he wants to be executive of at Disney or something like that.
In
Tim
Disney?
Kawakami, yeah, like Tim Kawakami said that his future probably lies out of basketball.
You say that again? I'm sorry.
Tim Kawakami, which is a Warriors writer,
All
or
right,
a
now how you
Warriors
doing?
reporter,
How's that? How you been, man?
he said that
That's
Myers,
all we
if
can do,
he
man.
left
Yes, sir.
Golden
I ain't
State,
seen
he
you out,
probably
man.
would go outside of basketball.
Oh, you are?
And go to
Not
Disney.
necessarily Disney, but like going because he founded he has a podcast now, and I think he wanted to start a media company. Because Bob is a guy that wants to do plenty of things in life. His life doesn't focus only around basketball. So people say that he wants to do other stuff, but I don't know. I think he would do a good job in a team like the Clippers to make the transition from the Kawhi PG era to the next step of the
Bing
franchise.
bong bong.
With the Clippers. The Flea brought up the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, but the new owner's talking about that he wants to be in charge of everything, and not only that, he got Isaiah Thomas in the front office, or like being a consultant. So I
The
don't know,
Phoenix?
man. That's too many
Yeah,
cooks in the kitchen, man.
I'm not sure I would hire Isaiah Thomas as my GM, as Knicks fans
Not
all
as a
well know.
GM, no, but they're hiring him as a consultant. Like he's like
Yeah.
mentoring him. He's like mentoring him in that kind of sense. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I want to go there as Bob Myers, man. Too many cooks and too many chefs in the kitchen.
I just look at it. I want to know his family structure. How old is his kids? This guy's 48 years old, and a GM job is 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So, does he want to take time to spend with his kids now and all that? Is he begin getting pressure from the family and things like that? It's a big thing, man. When you have kids, young kids, and your kids want to be around you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved.
Yeah, like from what I hear in the Warriors media, I would bet that next year the Bob Myers doesn't work in any NBA team next year at least. He probably takes a year off or something.
Beloved, would you want Bob Myers on the Knicks and get rid of Leon Rose? Because ain't no way he's going to be under Leon Rose. Pause.
I'm kind of with Bernardo. Maybe he should take a year off, step back, see the landscape of the NBA. Maybe even 2 years to see where everybody ends up, as in like what Giannis does, what new big contracts do. You're gonna see what that does first. So I can see him taking a year or 2 years off, stepping back, and then moving into maybe a team where they're not like one player away, but they're really trending in the right direction. I would. I'm kind of trending with Bernardo there. That's a good point.
Hmm.
Bernardo, what's up, my guy?
Hello. Hello,
Yeah,
beloved. How you doing?
yo, send me the IG request again. I don't really, I'm beloved in Harlem, so I really gotta be very wary. They send the Fabian sends his spies on me, so I gotta really be careful.
Okay, I'll send you again. Thank you. Yeah, I like as I said, I think Bob, his best attribute as a GM is his ability, like his people skills. So I think he would be suited more for a team that has stars and had big personalities and stuff like that. But and also like a team that has free agency aspirations to have him be able to negotiate with guys. I think that's his main skill. Because even in the Warriors, like the little pieces, the David West and Sean Livingston's, like even he says that they weren't his. Like it wasn't him that went and picked those fringe guys in the market. Like he's a big picture, a big personality, can deal with a lot of people. So yeah, I think a big one. I don't think it's. If I was a rebuilding team, I don't think I would try to go after Bob Myers, for example.
Yo, Turbo, Turbo, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mhm.
Who drafted who's the GM? So I know Jerry West was a consultant, but who drafted Stephen Curry?
It
Um,
was
Myers,
Larry
Frank
Riley.
Myers. Yeah, Riley.
Larry Riley.
Okay.
Myers drafted Barnes, Ezeli, and Green. That draft in 2012.
Harrison Barnes wasn't drafted there, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was
he
drafted
was.
by
He was the number 7, and then they drafted Ezeli and Draymond Green the second round in 2012.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Festus is Illy's Festus.
Yes, Festus.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. And another question. And who got rid of? And he was under the regime where Mark Jackson got fired, right?
Yeah, he got rid of Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, we know why Mark Jackson got fired, right? You know why, right? No, not allegedly. Fabe, don't start with me tonight. I'm on the juice bar. Don't start with me tonight.
Wait a minute. No, beloved. You're the one who
Bernardo,
told me.
Bernardo,
He gave us the heads up before.
You know why? Bernardo, you know why he got fired, right?
I want to listen to you first.
So Mark Jackson's he's a God first fearing man.
Yeah,
So
that's
he
took the team to churches and stuff
yeah.
like
So during the off season, he used to go to Skid Row and preach and stuff, and he got into people's sexuality and things like that, and he was very strong on that. And it got back to the coaching, and it got on social media a little bit. So they try to tell Mark, listen, we understand, we comfortable with that, but we need you to make a public statement saying maybe you were wrong or you look at views differently. Mark Jackson said, "No, I'm good." And Bernardo, Bernardo, before you say but, he hasn't coached since.
No, I'm not gonna say but. I'm just gonna give the context that like the season before, the Warriors were a mess. Like the coaching staff, he fought with Brian Scalabrine, that wasn't a coaching staff, and I think he fought with like Michael Malone or something that was also in the
But
coaching staff.
Scalabrine was trying to backdoor him because he already knew Scalabrine knew the writing on the wall with that. So he already knew Scalabrine was trying to backdoor him. Bernardo.
Okay.
In America, Bernardo. In America, you can't speak and say certain things. You will never work again. Bernardo, he has never coached another NBA game since.
Yeah, Brazil's not that. Like Brazil is kind of like that, but we're more like loose with stuff. Now, in the last 2 years, stuff is getting worse here.
To get on top of, to add to that, the city that they play in and they move to is the capital of all of that.
Used to be the capital. Atlanta has taken over that. Bernardo, that's where Fabian goes to vacation. Atlanta, Georgia.
This is no Atlanta. We are close by.
It's the wool capital of the U.S. now.
Oh no, it ain't. Oh, yeah, but see, Bernardo, I'm glad you're on that. there's been a confusion between woke and that sector of the
Right.
United States, so they intertwine like this, and now it's one big circus act.
Right.
Fabian has a shirt that says that also.
He keeps slandering me, but
No, I'm curious now. What's your sociological take on
hold on.
this?
Oh,
Go ahead,
what do you
Turbo.
say, Turbo?
oh, go ahead, because y'all was in a different conversation. I wanted to see if you see the list of the top 10 overall top 10 overrated players in history.
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
that.
God.
You saw Melo? It was Melo, AI.
Oh no! This was a whole different list.
Who's
Melo's
there?
on there, though, right? Say the list.
No.
Say the list. Say the list.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it now. But I
He's
know they
checking.
had Chris Webber, Scottie Pippen, Reggie Miller, Robert Ory.
Oh,
Also,
no, I
that's
didn't
a
see
dumb
that.
list.
I don't know. Whoever made that list was drunk.
No, but no, I saw a different list. I saw like Melo and Iverson and T Mac on it. I saw that list.
No, that was enough. I think I sent it to him. There's another list. I'm trying to find it. I thought I
Okay.
saved
Might
it on
be
my
Slam
IG.
that
Yeah.
Beloved's talking
But
about.
yeah, I saw another list maybe yesterday or today.
Oh,
But over here, Bernardo, over here,
go
like
ahead.
everything is unfortunately Mark Jackson. I wouldn't hire him right now because like I think the game is maybe like he hasn't evolved with the game. He's calling the game and evolving with the game, and coaching the game is different. So I wouldn't hire him, but I do feel like he was definitely blackballed from coaching in the
Blackballs.
NBA.
See,
Yes.
I disagree
Yeah.
with that
And
because if Tom Thibodeau can coach, like there's no reason why Mark Jackson can't coach. He's just I don't see a difference. I don't think he's a chump. Tom Thibodeau doesn't come off like a chump. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Mark Jackson comes off like very persuasive. He's from New York. He has that swagger. So I don't, I don't want. I think maybe when you're too vocal like that though, that presents a problem with in a corporation. That's always going to be the issue. Now, isn't Draymond always too vocal though? You know what I mean? Like that's the hypocrisy I see with Golden State for them to do that.
But for me, the thing that Beloved said is like Draymond is controversial and outspoken, but he doesn't touch those prohibited topics like Mark Jackson used to. Like it's a different type of outspoken and
That's
controversial.
not true. That's not true. He's
He does.
gotten backlash from women, from the gay rights and all of them before because he spoke, and that's probably when he touched the third rail and reeled it back in. But Draymond Green, I'm telling you, he's a loose cannon. So if he got a fair warning, and it's not like he's irreplaceable in my mind. I just don't see why.
Draymond was pretty irreplaceable for the Warriors in the last 10 years. Like
Right.
he
So I don't see why Mark Jackson shouldn't get a job because he made a mistake. Like you
What's
should
the
be
mistake?
allowed.
Whoa. What's the mistake?
A mistake was regardless if you own this team and I play for Beloved and Beloved says, yo, I'm not feeling that, and I go, I don't care. This is how I feel, I'm not moving. That's a problem.
Okay.
That's a problem. No matter what, I don't care what the topic is. Now, if you sit down for a while and go, you know what? You're right. I should just respect how you feel. It's a business. You ain't gotta go through all that. Let's go play ball. There's more money to be made. You weren't gonna change the world with that Mark Jackson. Joe Lacob. You're not changing the world with any of that stuff. You do make progress in the world if you show people you can work together, even though you disagree. That to me is foul.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is always foul. Like I never agree with something like that, but for some reason, that is the woke movement. That is whatever's going on in this country right now. That I don't agree with. Just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't make money together.
Yeah, it's well, I'm not gonna go there.
Go there, Bernardo. It's too late.
Okay,
No, Bernardo,
it's
Bernardo, don't go there. Please don't go there.
Beloved
Don't
is a
let
third
him.
rail. Beloved is a third
Don't
rail.
go there, Bernardo.
He's
Don't
telling
go
us
there,
when we've gone
Bernardo.
too far.
Yeah,
It's different.
I'll give
When you disrupt players on a team, and when you disrupt the whole organization. See, from what I heard, Mark Jackson said some inappropriate things to the organization, people that work in the organization. They didn't like. He felt he was hiding. He felt he was hiding everyone else. He can talk down to people. So when you're that coach and you're talking, you don't have that following behind you. This your first or 2 years coaching. So when you're talking to people that certain way and all that, they don't want to follow behind you. So there's a lot of backslash with that from what I heard. Now again, this is what I heard. I could be absolutely incorrect from information somebody told me. But that's what the thing was saying, that he was talking down to people about the religion and all that, and they didn't like that. So
Correct.
it's
Just like I just
Shout
think
out
that
June 28th, July. I'm sorry, Bernardo.
we
He
had
said
in the last 10
politics is always
years,
muddy waters.
we have in the last 10 years two high-profile blackballing situations. One in the NFL, one in the NBA. The NBA being with Mark Jackson, and the fact that those two, the topics were completely opposite in the political spectrum, but both got the same reaction, and both characters of those situations had one thing in common. Like for me, as an outsider, doesn't smell good.
Mm. You know what I was gonna add on to that? That they basically the same thing happened to Ime Udoka. He was basically blackballed by Boston. The way they did him, and it was even worse, because that was really, really public. They dragged him like that. And Mark Jackson,
Yeah.
they don't want to talk about that. You never really see them speaking about that. And then Steph Curry and Draymond and them, they speak really highly of Mark Jackson. The same way Jaylen Brown
Even
speaks
Steve
highly of
Kerr,
Mark Jackson.
like even
if they
Steve
spoke
Kerr
highly of
always tells everybody that Mark Jackson installs the defensive intensity and the defensive culture in the Warriors. Like the Warriors were the number 3 defense in 2014. Like Mark really did a good job installing the defensive. Now, on the offensive side, it's a whole other story, but defensively, he did a great job of those teams.
Well, he
Where
also
you gonna
did a
say,
great
Bossman?
job. He also did a good job allowing them guys to shoot that basketball. He's one of the first coaches that allowed them to open up shooting the 3-pointers, and that was right to open it up. But also at the same time, if he was, and he is a good coach, if they wanted him so bad, he'll be in the league. So some of the players don't want him, because if Steve Kerr, if Curry had all that juice, whatever he had and all that, they would have had him. So
I disagree.
Why?
Yeah, but no, I disagree, boss man. The players have an impact so much. When it comes to coaching and shareholders, they don't let them get too much power. I could trade anybody you want. I could get other players in here, but when you have a political view remember, you got to remember, a lot of big NBA cities are liberal cities. They're very liberal cities. New York, LA, Atlanta, Miami. Those are very liberal. Those are very liberal cities. So the big market cities is going to be tough because in this day and age, as soon as you hire somebody, they pull out your last 50 years of tweets. They put your last 50 years of record, and they're gonna.
Right.
I don't think it's that easy. What you said, Bossman. I understand the players hold a lot of power. They can protest. We let you wear your little T-shirts, but we don't let you get out of line. We don't let you get out of line, because when you get out of line, we'll reel you back in. And trust me, they'll reel you back in very, very quickly.
That's
don't
a good
you think
point,
the
beloved.
Udoka situation should have been treated the same, kind of?
Well,
if that's the case,
it can't be treated the same, because this is why you can't treat that the same. So what Mark Jackson is doing, he's isolated himself from a certain population and a certain business group, right? What Colin Kaepernick does is the same people who agree with Mark Jackson won't see that. That's how America is. So like it'll be a section of the country that agrees with Mark Jackson. They don't want their kids exposed to certain things like that. But they also don't want their kids exposed to equal rights. They don't want their kids exposed to things like that. So you have the same group believing in two different things. So that's why Colin Kaepernick got what he got and Mark Jackson got what he got. Different groups, but different beliefs.
And also the NBA and the NFL have two different demographics as their targets in terms of...
Bernardo, you can move to America anytime you want. We'll trade you for Fabian any day. Good job.
You give me a green card? Will you give me a green card? I will. I'll go there.
So you have the WNBA and the NBA. You see what kind of culture that is, right? See what the WNBA is, right? So you have that. You can't speak like Mark Jackson and be like that. You can speak like Mark Jackson and go to the NFL, and this would have happened to him. You think, boss man, you think Mark Jackson gets treated like this if he's an NFL coach and he says that?
No.
I don't think anybody would give a fuck in the NFL.
Exactly. The NFL is a different demographic.
Yeah.
NFL is a different demographic.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
For sure.
I think the only way is if he got caught up with the not Roger Goodell. What was the coach that got caught up in Washington? That was a farce too. With the
Ron Rivera, wasn't he?
What was that?
I think it was Ron Rivera.
No. The one for the Redskins. He won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
You talking about?
He was in Oakland. John Gruden.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, he only got caught up because Warren Sapp came out and defended him. A bunch of people did. So that's the only way I see someone like Mark Jackson getting caught is getting blackmailed. Basically, he might have said something in an email. They got it documented, and they'll put it out in the public because the public you can't do that with for whatever reason. But even then, that was more racist than anything what John Gruden did.
But look what John Gruden got. Different demographic.
Right.
What
did he get?
Exactly.
He didn't get nothing. That's what he said. He got nothing. He got another job.
Did he?
Got hired. Yeah, he went. Remember, ESPN fired him, and then he got hired by the Raiders.
I thought he got fired by the Raiders because of that, or whatever. Like I thought he was out after that. He said, "Look, hey, Redskins is offensive. You're gonna get canceled." I mean, it's a mistake. I grew up. Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I'm 40. My whole life they were the Redskins, so it's crazy. I don't. The Washington. What are they now? The Commanders.
The Commanders. Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the name, but I don't know. But it's still. You're right though. Two different demographics. That's a really great point. And the way they're ran is different. Roger Goodell. They beat people up. They beat women up, and they still in the league. Like that. NFL is different. NFL is different. Miles Bridges is out of the league right now in the NBA for the same thing.
No, what do you call it? I think he's going to Detroit.
Oh well, but he got suspended for 2 years or whatever it was. The NFL takes you right back.
And he took a big gamble on his life with that. Took a big gamble. He didn't sign that contract.
He didn't sign a re-sign. Then he got arrested the next month. I remember that.
Yes, that was crazy, man. So.
Oh, he didn't sign.
He did not sign. Nope.
He got arrested the next month.
I think he just signed for the 1 year, $10 million. If I'm right, beloved.
Yeah, I know he signed, but I don't know how much the amount was. Listen, the NFL is smart. The NFL don't take no moral stands. This is what the NFL does. The law don't do nothing. We don't do nothing. You get arrested, then we do something. You get arrested, and then your name is cleared. That's why the NFL. You get arrested, you gotta get out. You play all your games. Once you say you got probation, you were found. Once the NFL says you are found guilty, then the NFL does something. So they'll let you play. If your trial is in 2 years, you get 2 years. That's it.
But it's still politics in the NFL. Cause Tom Brady getting suspended 4 games is crazy. Ray Rice, they weren't gonna do anything until the tape came out. Nothing. That tape came out, he was cooked. So there's politics with that, man. They don't like the Patriots owner. They don't like him. There's something about like it's the good old boys. You do have to ride with them, and if you don't, they'll tell you. They'll show you.
What would you want them? But what would you want them to do if they don't have a tape?
Well, it's contradictory to me.
But what did the law? Okay, can the law do anything if they don't have proof?
The law had the tape. It just happened to be that TMZ had it.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Until the law has the tape, they can't really do nothing either, right?
No, because there's no way.
They can't, because like it's a general situation. The doesn't care about the law. The general situation. They did whatever the fuck they wanted to do. Like it's a private
business. Missing my point, y'all. Y'all missing my point. Once again, I'm not defending the NFL. I'm looking at it from a different view. If the law, the girl calls, hey, my husband Ray Rice hit me. Okay, no problem. They come assess, right? They see she had bruises on her face. You get arrested. You bond out. You get out. You go to trial, right? You had this, and that, whatever she says, right? the tape helps the prosecution saying we can't 100% rely on his wife because his wife has things to gain from not saying it. But that's why the woman the woman drops the charges, the state picks it up. The state picks it up and decides to go on with charges. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you want the NFL to do if they don't have a tape?
Well, no. What I'm saying is that they got married and they aborted everything. So the legal side of it was what I was talking about. It doesn't matter if they get locked up or convicted. That's my point. It came to court of public opinion when we saw the tape. That's when the NFL said, "Oh, wait a minute." So it wasn't about him being guilty or not, because he was going to be they didn't know whether he was going to be guilty or not. He wasn't found guilty yet. The tape just came out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that's
now
what
I
I'm
understand.
saying. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes it more political
But what
in
I'm
my
saying,
mind. Like,
but what I'm saying is the NFL would have let that rock until he was found guilty, tape or not guilty. The NFL reacts on what the law does.
that's
I
we
think to
disagree. That's we disagree. Because there was no conviction, there was no charge, there was no nothing.
But there's a tape though. I'm saying if there's no tape, he doesn't get anything. It's not as big as it is.
Got you.
The
like
NFL is
I
only
think what
reacting
Beloved is
because
saying
there's
is
a tape.
like
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
Because
think
without the
what
tape, now
Beloved
there's no pressure,
Exactly. There's
and
no
it's
pressure.
business as usual.
It's business as usual, and you get a little clipping in the newspaper. Ray Rice arrested with domestic violence. 3 months later, all charges are dropped against Ray Rice. NFL doesn't have to do nothing. You got a tape. That's why they hate tapes. There's nothing you can do when the tape is out.
and I think there's like I agree with Bossman with Beloved in this circumstances that if you look at how the NBA acts in situations like that, let's go back to the Ime Udoka situation. Like nothing was out by the time he was suspended. Like nobody knew anything. There was no tape. There was no nothing. The NBA found out and suspended him because, like the Celtics, obviously. And I think that the NBA usually acts more preventively. Like they act before the scandal, they try to prevent the scandal, and the NFL only acts if they're forced to act. Like they only act if they have no option. And I
Correct.
think that has to do with something like both the demographics that we talked about, but also the fact that the NFL has way more leverage when negotiating with sponsors, when negotiating with everyone, because the NFL is the NFL and the NBA isn't the NFL. So like that, I think there's
Exactly.
also that dynamic that comes into play.
I'm just reading. I'm sorry to get off topic. Boss man, I want to get your thoughts on Joe Mazzulla coming back. Boss
Say
man,
that
you
one
there?
more time. Yeah, I'm here.
Joe
Say that one
Mazzulla.
more time.
The Celtics are bringing back Mazzulla.
Wow. Wow.
Terrible.
I don't believe I would like that deal. Yeah, I wouldn't like yes. Nah.
So I was telling
Not at all.
Fabian, I was telling Boss man, I told Flea, you have to, and I was telling somebody else at my job, tell me what y'all think about this. You got to clean house. There's no remnants of what's the name in the office? Who's in the
Brad
office?
Stevens.
There's no remnants
Yes.
of Brad Stevens. There's no remnants of Udoka. There's no remnants of anybody. You have to clean house with everybody. You have to get a disciplined coach in there, and we have to play disciplined basketball. There's no way that season ends like that if you have a no-nonsense coach. You're not just jacking up threes like that. You're not taking 42 threes in a game. You're not even listening. At one point, you're not even listening to the coach. That was very disrespectful to that coach, the way they did him. And you need a no-nonsense guy in there. You know who will fit with them? Tom Thibodeau will be a great coach for them. They'll be the number one. If Tom Thibodeau went there, I think they'll be the number
They'll
one
win.
defensive team in the NBA. They'll be the
They
number one
might be the
defensive
best
team.
defensive team ever if some Thibodeau goes there.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you. You need a
Like, 'cause
no-nonsense coach.
their
I don't know.
defensive personnel is insane. Like their personnel defensively is crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know who you bring in now. But you can't bring him back. How you bring him back? You lost. Yo, boss man, they played zone against you. You saw what Denver did against the zone just now? Did you see? Yo, Bernardo. They threw it to the big man in the middle,
Big man.
and all
Yeah.
he did is pick you apart. Al Horford
But
got
so
the ball in the
easily.
middle and put.
But Denver
But you
has
know,
Jokic. Like
Bernardo,
Denver has the
he could
best
put
big man,
Bernardo.
the zone buster. Like
Yeah, no, that's not. He's not the zone buster. Any big man is a zone buster if you put him in the middle. Boston didn't even try to put somebody in the middle.
Not
They
Sabonis.
put nobody in the middle.
Sabonis pissed me the hell off, man. That the way he did this playoffs was disgusting. He
I think
was
he was
really
hurt. He still was hurt though. He was hurt.
he was, but he still could have man.
Nah, you got it.
He wasn't shooting 8-footers, bro, 10-footers. Like that was
I know.
crazy.
Sabonis
He
Kept
really,
passing him.
yeah, like that was crazy, bro. That was
It's
crazy.
hard to it's hard to bring a guy 6'9", 6'10" like that from a power forward to try to make him a center. That's a big transition for him. He's not used to being that center, bumping and grinding against guys like that. He used to being down low, playing it 1-on-1 with a power forward. It's totally different. It just took him out of his game.
Who is
And to go
Sabonis?
back, yes.
I thought they
But that's his
they
shot,
saw
boss
something in the
man. He's
tape.
supposed
Yeah,
to make that shot.
yeah.
No, but I'm
Sabonis
saying,
did.
but he's not a center though. I'm talking about him
Not-
playing that position.
No, but boss man, they were playing drop coverage in the paint on him.
In the
Like they
paint,
let
he
him.
wouldn't shoot it.
It was weird.
He would
Like
not
and then
shoot.
when
Like you shot that all season long.
and
But the
I know
Warriors do that stuff to like the Warriors guarded Marcus Smart. Basically, they ignored him last year's finals. There's games that the Warriors play against Westbrook. They
Yeah,
sag off 10 feet from him.
and that messes with your psyche. Like you don't have no rhythm like that. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
boss man? Like you're not used to somebody that's
Yeah.
passing the ball. There's no one there. Like you don't have no rhythm. Like there's no flow to the offense there like that. But they do that to disrupt you. I understand that part, but listen,
but don't you think they must have seen something on a tape
No.
somewhere?
no, they just say, all right. Sometimes people do things arbitrarily to see what happens, and they're a veteran. They're a veteran enough team. They're a veteran enough team to do that and see what happens. If it don't work, they know how to adjust right there. It don't take them 3 games to adjust. It takes one timeout for them to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And Boston can't make that adjustment. Boston could not make the adjustment to the zone. The big, scary Miami zone. Djokovic had a triple-double.
Jaylen Brown can't go left. Crazy. Boss man, I think I cut you up when you said you were making a point about Sabonis. It was hard for him to be a 4 going to a 5, and you were going to switch. I think we're going to change the subject.
Yes, just because he used to banging against somebody. A center's playing totally different from a power forward. Like somebody said, he need a body on him to make his move off of somebody. So playing that center role is for him. It just threw him off whack. But again, being an NBA player, you have to adjust. The coach have to make the adjustments for you. And how Denver, we talking about Denver also, you bring in jokers to the key or to the foul line, he's gonna pick everybody apart, like Beloved said, because we just need you to be right here to be the decoy. You can score. We know you can score, but we need everybody involved. We need to break this zone to loose. And they ain't breaking the loose by shooting 3-point shots. When they shot 3-point shots, they was free. It wasn't they had an open shot.
Yo,
In the
if you
flow
look
of the
at-
game.
if y'all just watch the first 5 minutes of Boston Miami game, you will see one point that they ran a pick. They picked the zone. Al Horford rolled. He didn't turn around to the basket. He just faced the court and just threw it to the corner. He didn't even turn around on Gabe Vincent
To the basket.
even look. No, he keeps throwing it to the corner and they just keep jacking threes. Look
It was one time he had a
first
free
5 minutes.
layup right there. I'm sorry, yeah.
First 5 minutes of the game. You can watch the first 5 minutes of that Celtic Miami game.
Yeah.
Al Horford didn't look at the rim.
Yeah, one of the great things about Steve Kerr one thing that nobody seems to understand about the Warriors dynasty is that the Warriors led the league every year in paint field goal percentage, and they were top 5 in the league every year in field goal attempts at the rim. So Steve Kerr understood that despite having the 2 of the 5 greatest shooters ever, the game is won on high percentage shots every time. And I think that's the misconception that many analytically driven coaches have, which is the lack of understanding of context and the lack of understanding that at some time, I always say this about Durant and Steph, at some point, you need to get a bucket to squash the momentum of the other team. It doesn't matter it's a tree or a layup, or you just gotta get an open shot and hit a layup. And
And
I
that's
think a coach like Mazzulla, he has like a system that's very rigid and very determined. Like we need to get those types of shots in those type of scenarios, and that's where a coach like Kerr that has a fluid system, a flow offense, like the offense of the Warriors over the 10 years, it was like it, they exploited anything that the defense gave them, and the Celtics run the opposite type of offense. They search for their shots, doesn't matter what the defense is doing, and I think that's the main problem with the Celtics.
I fully stand by what I said about that series. I feel that if two things, if the sixth man of the year is not hurt, that series is totally different. Like you can't say that Brogdon doesn't matter. He won the sixth man of the year. Like that's a big piece of your team that's not there no more. Like everybody doesn't have the sixth man of the year. They had the best player off the bench, and they lost him for the whole series.
It's a
And
big
that's a big
time
part.
one-on-one guy in a one-on-one offense.
And at least he's a point guard that at least controls the ball. You can't Bernardo and Bossman, Tatum and Brown. You're not going to be a successful team. Sorry, you're not going to win a championship with your two best scorers and wing players bringing the ball up. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need a veteran point guard in there. You need a point guard that a pass first, game controlling point guard. Like you ever heard of, in the NFL, there's game managers, right? You need a game manager for that high power offense.
I agree.
I gotta get going, but the one thing I did I see some footage this or last week. Again, I wish Mel was here so we can give him his props. Where Marcus Smart, defensive player of the year last year, how many times he turned his back on all types of action during, like, that's what was always crazy to me, that he won defensive player of the year. I'm like, he makes a lot of these mistakes and he can't do that. So him, even Brogdon spelling, Brogdon might not be as great defensively one-on-one or off. He's like Marcus Smart reminds me of a cornerback, like Cromartie from the Jets back in the day. He used to be on San Diego.
Oh, always guarding the Cromartie brothers. They always gamble for the INT. If you get it, you're a hero. If you don't, there's something on your head.
That's what it was for me. And I'd rather have Brogdon spell him, and they didn't have that. If I'm the Celtics.
Yeah, but Bernardo, Fabian, he's gonna go to another pool area, so he's gonna let us go. Bernardo, last 2 weeks ago, Fabian was in New York City. He hasn't seen New York City since. I just want to put that out there.
Where would I be running from? I'm just taking a little time off.
No problem.
You know what I mean? Just catching some rays. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Peace.
But
peace.
with Boston is, and I'm gonna keep saying this, that they need to change speed. They don't have a point. The 2 point guards play the same exact way, and that's impossible. And I'm also with Beloved. You can have the small forward bring up the basketball trying to make plays. Neither one of them have any moves. Tatum or Jaden don't have no moves. Jaden can't go to his left. Tatum doesn't have any moves at all. And how you getting past somebody because somebody said you're a pig? You cannot win basketball games that way. They need a point guard, like Beloved said, who can just do something totally different. You have to. You need easy baskets. You need to give people easy baskets. They don't get no easy basket from a point guard.
How many times Tatum got ripped on a crossover? That was crazy.
Listen. I think there's a point guard situation. I'm gonna get out of here, boss man. Next weekend, I got 7 games in 2 days at Zero Gravity playoffs. So I will be in your area. I hope to see you.
Beloved, can I ask you a question before you go?
I mean, Live City. Sorry, Live City.
Okay.
So the playoffs next weekend is Live City. We got 7 games.
And on the weekend?
On the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Between Saturday and Sunday, we got 7 games.
It's no games Saturday. That I know.
It is. I got the schedule. Not
That's
this Saturday,
wrong.
next
'Cause
Saturday.
I already emailed him. There's no games this weekend. There's no games Saturday.
Saturday
So
next weekend?
there's no games this weekend, and there's no game next Saturday.
Okay. Well, then I got to see the schedule because I
Yes,
saw 7 games. Maybe they all on Sundays, but
it's
I'll
all
be
on
up there.
Sunday then. Oh, I'll be
Okay.
there.
You
All
heard it
right.
here
What you
first.
say?
Beloved, can I
Bayano?
say just something to Beloved?
Go ahead, real
In
quick,
the
Bernardo.
first time we shared a live, you it was funny because you were talking about Harlan. You're talking a story about Harlan, and you said like, oh, Harlan is a borough in New York City. Just like in Brazil, I think we almost know more about the U.S. than we know about Brazil. Like the U.S. is, we know a lot of shit about the U.S. and like Harlem, Brooklyn, Bronx, and all those New York boroughs. We know who they are.
Yeah. So
Mm,
everybody in New York City want to say Harlem's not a borough, but we consider the borough, and we're worldwide. We're internationally known.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right.
All
We're
We're
right.
the sixth
international.
barrel. That's
Yeah.
right.
All right. Peace,
But
y'all.
you guys,
Peace.
man, y'all be good, man. Peace.
Appreciate
Bye.
y'all, man. Good night, fellas.
Good
Bernardo,
night.
salute to you. Thank you very much.